What's going on, guys? I want to talk to you today about the most frequent and a little bit annoying comment that I get on Instagram. All right, so as you guys, if you do any sort of content creation, you're probably aware of this yourself, but each different platform has its own different kind of audience and its own different responses, and you treat each one of them differently. And I have an Instagram account, it's @TannerGuzzi. If you're not following me there, you should be following me there. What I basically post on that is suiting photos. Yeah, there's occasionally stuff with my family or a few other casual looks, but most of the time when I'm posting up there, I get suiting photos. And more often than not, when I'm in a suit, I'm doing one little thing that, no, I'm not the only guy doing it. Yes, it's probably a trend, but I'm doing it, and I always get a comment. Literally, almost like every single photo, I get a comment from somebody asking, why is the skinny blade or why is the back blade of my tie longer than the one in the front? Now, yes, this is a violation of almost every single style rule that you can think of, but don't think that that's on accident because it's on purpose. And so I want to give you guys a couple of different reasons for it. The very first one is not one that I've come up with. It's one that is very prominent right now in the world of menswear, although the word itself that describes it is one that's kind of dying. And that's the idea of sprezzatura. That's an Italian word, and basically it's the idea of practice nonchalance. And what it falls into is that you don't want everything about your outfit to look too polished and too perfect, because what that communicates is that you can't live in your clothing. That it's something that limits your lifestyle as opposed to enhancing your lifestyle. And so what a lot of men will do is have something that's just a little bit off, a little bit disheveled, and have that be indicative, albeit subconsciously, of the fact that they are the master of their clothing and not the other way around. And you know what? If my tie blade is a little bit too long in the back, then not that big of a deal. It's just clothes. Who cares? So there's some subconscious communication that's going on there. Now that plays into the fact that it actually does make it easier, because back when I was trying to get my ties perfect every single day, sometimes, man, some days, it would take me like 8 or 9 times just to get the knot tied right. That's a good chunk of my morning time that could be better spent doing other things, trying to get my tie perfect. Whereas if it's just a little bit imperfect, then I don't have to waste that time. Now, a couple of other things that tie into this as well, just from even like a practical standpoint. The first one is that as I'm wearing my stuff with a higher waist, which if you want to learn about that, go check out this video here about fit and proportion. As I'm wearing stuff with a higher waist, then the overall objective length of the tie that I need is shorter. But I'm not buying shorter ties, at least not yet. And so that extra length has to go somewhere. Some of you guys have also noticed that not only is the back blade longer, but both blades often end up hanging well past my waistband. And that's actually something that, again, I kind of like because it helps blend the distance between torso and waist as opposed to there just being this like hard dividing line between the two. But that is another impact of it. And then the other thing that goes into kind of the objectivity of the length is I like a 4-in-hand knot. I like the asymmetry of it. I like that it's longer than it is wide. The problem with the 4-in-hand is it uses less of the tie to create the knot, and so you have more tie body to play around with. Now, one thing that I've done to help mitigate that a little bit, because sometimes my ties get way too long, is I'll do a double 4-in-hand, so it uses up more of the tie itself, but then it still maintains the asymmetry and the length and the overall visual appeal of the knot. Double 4-in-hand is actually what I am wearing today. Now, the final aspect of this and why you see this more often than not is honestly because it's a trend. And like we've talked about before, there's nothing wrong with embracing trends. There are benefits that come from that. It's a way to signal to your tribe that you are up and you're aware of things that are going on, that you haven't been left behind, that you're current. Whether you want that to be a thing or not is up to you, but there are benefits from remaining current and maintaining a moderate to high status within your tribe as opposed to looking like you're outdated or looking like you're dealing with aesthetic inertia. And so yes, it's a trend, and part of the reason I like it is because men I look up to like it as well. Nothing wrong with that. So whenever you see somebody who's doing something like that, and you see it happen over and over and over again, especially if you see multiple people doing it over and over and over again, don't think that we don't know what we're doing. Same thing goes with if I have a really spread collar, which obviously I don't today, and I still do a 4-in-hand knot. Yeah, I know that a Windsor, or technically a double Windsor, is way more appropriate for that collar spread, but again, I like having that little bit of imperfection in the way that my suiting especially is worn. With casual stuff, you want it to be a little bit cleaner because it's already casual. With suiting, you're playing off of the contrast a little bit. So yeah, if you see guys doing this stuff over and over and over again, don't think that they don't understand what's going on. Just question whether or not you understand why they're doing it. And there's nothing wrong with asking me. I actually love it that you guys have asked me. But don't do it in a challenging way or tell me that I'm an idiot or that I'm a hypocrite or that I don't know what I'm doing. Because I absolutely do. And as style continues to evolve, as trends continue to ebb and flow, we're going to continue to play around with this stuff because nothing about this is set in stone. I want to hear what you guys think. Have you done this before? Is this something that you would consider embracing or that you just have a complete aversion to? Let me know what your thoughts on this particular trend are down in the comments below. As always, leave me a thumbs up and I will catch you guys on the next one.